Just another case here where Richmond were able to clog up that corridor and force Sydney wide. It was pretty much a chokehold for the entire game for 120 minutes. Welcome back to the I Just Love Footy YouTube channel, and today we're going to get stuck into the game that was between Richmond and Sydney MCG yesterday. It was an absolute thriller, nail-biter, high-octane game where Richmond ran out as eventual winners. Now, to the naked eye, it seemed clear that Richmond won because they were able to apply pressure with many thanks to their young players. They were able to lock the ball in their forward half and quell Sydney's ball movement. Sydney struggled to transition from defensive 50 to forward 50. So, we'll have a look at that now. In this first play, we got Robbie Fox, Vloster manning the mark very well. We got two Richmond players here manning the initial corridor vicinity within this area. And then we've got Nathan Broad actually keeping an eye on what's coming, oncoming here as far as Sydney forwards leading up into this space. Because like I said, while Richmond have this covered, this space is still not quite occupied very well. So you got Nathan Broad has now got eyes on Fox. He's covering both. He's 50-50. And he ends up impeding this lead that was from, I think, Logan McDonald. So really active defending from Nathan Broad in the zone. Next up, we have a long hat kick down into Richmond's forward 50. And this just talks to the pressure, the bullying that Richmond were applying all game long. I think Reece Mansell was the one who got the holding the ball free kick earned there, and he had an unbelievable game from a running capacity and a gut running capacity. He was just unbelievable, and we'll see moments throughout this video from Reece Mansell showing what he can do when it comes to two-way running. Next play here, we've got Sydney exactly where they want to be, transitioning from D50 now with the ball, moving quickly. Good frontal pressure provided by McIntosh. Warner kicks into the middle, and look how many Richmond players are aware that this is the spot that Sydney are looking for and have been looking for all year. Richmond obviously went to work, and this job doesn't get done without accountability and that mindset to understand that you're going to have to run yourself into the ground in this game if you want to stop Sydney moving the ball. As I said before, Reece Mansell will feature heavily in this video for all the right reasons. We've got him here applying forward half pressure, sprinting at full pelt, gets blocked by Melican there. So you'd think he'd be out of the play here. Nick Blakey can have an easy kick going into the corridor, which is what he loves doing and what he's best known for. But he's back up. Bolter applies good pressure, covering the switch in this case. And we can see Reece Mansell is back already involved in the next effort here, which forces this kick. A difficult kick that Blakey's willing to take on. And what happens early in this game is not only do Richmond apply this endless pressure, it actually ends up being a layer of real pressure and then perceived pressure, where Sydney were making mistakes early with their use by hand or foot because of the pressure being applied by the Richmond players. But then as the game went on, when you make these mistakes, it still lingers in your mind. So you have this pressure and this anxiety, and you end up missing kicks that you usually would make if you were feeling more confident because of all the pressure that has been applied by the Richmond team early on in the game. So early investments to get these turnovers early and have these players second guessing themselves and missing kicks that they might usually hit here. So a nice goal here. Forward half turnovers were massive for Richmond in this game, and these are the goals that they get from it. Blakey on the ball again. McKelty putting on good pressure, doesn't get two-stepped too badly, still stays involved, and then an intercept mark. So another forward half intercept. As we play this footage here, I want you to keep an eye on Nankervis's efforts when the ball gets to McInerney here. And this is pretty much, in a nutshell, why Nankervis is a skipper for Richmond right now. McInerney takes it clean, a very nimble player, and Nankervis sticks this tackle very well. Baker follows up, and that's another turnover. If you can have a ruckman that can stick a tackle on an evasive, nimble player like McInerney there, that's worth its weight in gold. But it's more of a mindset than an actual skill set in that case. If Nankervis didn't go 110% and put an emphasized focus in that tackle, he probably wouldn't have made that. He probably would have got stepped. In this shot, we'll see Sydney do something that we're not accustomed to them typically doing. They went long down the line many times this game, more than they typically would, because of the accountability and the good structural defensive zones that Richmond were able to maintain pretty much all game long. So McInerney on the ball again, his eyes are darting everywhere. We can see Richmond have got this whole corridor covered very well. McInerney takes one more look for a switch or an inside pass somewhere around here. There's nothing there. And against his will, he has to go long. Here we have Sydney having another opportunity to rebound the ball. We've got players applying frontal pressure. We've got Reece Mantle running like a man possessed again. And then we force this one wide. And just a hand pass that's slightly off, thanks to the pressure that Richmond were able to apply in this case. Next up here, we're going to see Maurice Rioli have multiple efforts trying to make a tackle here. And then earns this holding the ball effort there. And I think that was his second for the game. There was that many chase down tackles from Richmond. I think they earned quite a few holding the ball free kicks for their efforts, of course. Here I'm wanting to highlight Richmond's ability to move the ball very well. Obviously, a lot of their game was built on the forward half, intercepts and turnovers. But this was actually quite nice to see from Richmond. This sequence was quite clean. And then also, once again, Reece Mantle, look at his gut running here. He's still moving. Once he sees an opportunity to get beyond, I think that might be Fox. And you'll see here, once Reece Mantle has decided he has enough space away from Noah Bolter to get the full 15 metres, he leads back up into this space here and gets the easy mark. Just another case here where Richmond were able to clog up that corridor and force Sydney wide. It was pretty much a chokehold for the entire game for 120 minutes. And I'm sure Adam Uze had relished this moment where they won a game, his first game, and in this fashion. Probably had a glass of red and rewatched this game as soon as he got home. Another situation where Sydney are forced to go long, create a ground ball opportunity for Richmond. What I like about this one here is we'll see, I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, this would be Daniel Rioli. He's working his ass off to make an impact here. Realizes he's probably not going to impact this situation specifically, but you're going to see him run into this hole and cover this corridor where there was an opportunity for the ball to be played here. So we'll see this unfold. He's covering, he's basically forcing Hayward to sort of loop this over and make that a much more difficult kick than what it would have been if this hole wasn't covered. It could have been a more flat pass to the player here. Instead, it goes over his head and Richmond are able to intercept. Hey guys, just quickly, if you are enjoying this, please consider subscribing. I will be doing video analysis every week and any sort of content concerning AFL really. So please give us a sub. Let's get back to the video. We now have Sydney playing out of their comfort zone. They're touching the outskirts of the boundary line, forced to play wide, which is not their brand of football when they're at their peak. This is a really tough kick to hit. I mean, who hits that besides Nick Blakey? And then you got Chad Warner. Vlosten really active, gets this intercept. Another forward half one, of course. And Shai Bolton, some gut running to get the overlap and find some space inside 50. As I mentioned, it's a real testament to how Richmond were able to force Sydney to go long down the line this many times and avoid their corridor use. Vlosten with an intercept. I think he had like 13 intercept possessions for the game. So he was by far Richmond's best on ground. At the same time, Vlosten probably doesn't have that game if Richmond aren't set up so well structurally as a team. There wouldn't be that many kicks going along down the line where Vlosten has these opportunities to intercept. So this repeat inside 50 goes in from Vlosten after intercept mark. Ball hits the deck. Bolter probably drops what he probably should have taken. Great pressure applied there. Bolter making amends for the drop mark. Seth Campbell applying pressure. Heaney tries to switch it, and you got two players hot on the toes of James Jordan there. That's just amazing pressure. I really think it's going to be hard to beat the pressure game that Richmond mastered to a T in this game for the duration of this home and away season. I just don't think any team can match this consistency over an extended period of a game in the regular season. Another long down the line, surprise, surprise. Sydney are dumbfounded and have no clues what to do in these situations. Marlon Pickett, another chase down tackle earned with a holding the ball free kick. Sydney go short here. They get something inside, but it's not exactly center corridor. They're still within their own 50. So yes, it opens up angles, but I think Richmond is still comfortable in this situation. The marks manned well. Seth Campbell, good pressure, and gets a tackle there. Another tackle stuck. McInerney's fumbly. I think here we get a ball up for Richmond's efforts. If we just go back here though, this is obviously great chase down work by Seth Campbell, but it's many thanks to Richmond setting up defensively sound with a loose. leaving Lloyd no option here to go long or short in this case. So he's trying to deviate and get a different angle and maybe go wide. By that time, Seth Campbell's has caught up and applied that tackle and earned a really good stoppage for Richmond in a dangerous position in the middle of the field. Another rebound 50 for Sydney. Caught in their tracks immediately. Tim Taranto feeds it out and they get a decent look on goal. Not to be, but another immense pressure display. A short nothing kick. Nothing's open here. I really like this. You can see this here. I'm not too sure who that is there, but he is aware that this player in McInerney is trying to sag off and get some space into this inside area here. But he's switched on. Really kudos to this defender because that's a pass that we may have seen from James Jordan going here. But we don't. It goes long down the line once again. Sydney really struggled to play out from the back in the second half, and it was quite clear to anybody who was watching this game. Nothing open in the middle. They go long down the line. Ball hits the deck. Who wants it more? Bolter mishits here. They look for the corridor, Sydney again. Perceived pressure all game. Forces that mistake despite there not being a lot of pressure on the ball player there in itself. Another intercept possession for Richmond. Now, this is in the dying minutes of the game. Sydney are down by 2 goals, and they're out in this case. Look at Rioli here. Look at Heaney here. Look at Rioli's effort to get involved here. Rioli has no right to have an impact on that play, but these efforts were no fluke. They were ubiquitous across the whole entire game from minute 1 to minute 120, namely the last 3 minutes in a game where Sydney were about to bite back and be within a goal. Instead, it goes back the other way, and he's not done yet. He's still going. Still going, still going, still going. Look at him, he's cooked, but he's still making an effort after that initial effort. Sydney trying to move it quick. No switch here, have to go for a short hand pass. They look inside. Rioli does really well to apply that initial pressure. And here we see an important halt to the game for Richmond with 30 seconds to go. Gives them a chance to set up behind the ball. In the last moment of this game, I think we have Chad Warner who receives this on the outside. Gets the handball receive. And then it's just all about applying that last second pressure from both sides here. And that's just enough for this to be an ineffective kick by Chad Warner to end the game. And Richmond subsequently get their first win of the season without a Dustin Martin, without Dion Prestia. Tom Lynch was out for the last 10 minutes of the game. No Dylan Grimes. It truly was a kickstarter for Richmond, who had deserved a win by this point early in the season. I'm excited to see if they can maintain this pressure and watch their youngsters continue to develop. Guys, that's pretty much it for the video today. Tiger fans, please relish in this game. This is one of the best games of the season so far, and I think by season's end, we'll look back at this game as one of the best high pressure games produced by any AFL team this year. See you guys. Bye.